This is a compilation of hundreds upon hundreds of new magic items for your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game. And they are created by Kobold Press. And although they hint to the Midgard campaign setting by Kobold Press every now and then, they are absolutely usable for your campaign world wherever you are playing in. But you cannot create a tome full of new magic items without breaking the game every now and then. So here are my 5 favorite magic items from the Vault of Magic that are very usable and sometimes very powerful in certain situations. Hi there fellow role players and game masters, my name is Mr. Tarask and this is still your go-to YouTube channel for everything 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons related and especially Kobold Press yet again. Today I'm talking about a Vault of Magic, a compilation of hundreds of new magic items, and I've already done a full review of this book, also a preview and several videos using this book on my channel. Make sure to check them out, but today I want to talk about 5 magic items that I really like for certain situations. Now I'm not going to lie, I had the help of a blind Jedi for this. No, seriously, there's a person in my Discord who goes by the name of Blind Jedi 40, and he's like this real meta gamer type person, and he likes to find all kinds of cool combinations for certain situations, and he really helped me out with this list, so thank you very much for helping me out with that. I absolutely appreciate it. Blind Jedi, big shout out to you, but without further ado, let's get into it. The first one that I want to talk about is the Blade of the Dervish, which is just a little bit of text right here on page 15 of the book that you would glance over in an instant, and it doesn't even have its own artwork. It's just this little bit, but it is ridiculously strong and not a lot of people will probably know about it. I will just sketch for you what it does and then also talk about why it's so incredibly amazing in the hands of the right person. So basically it is a scimitar. It is a rare item, so it's not even that hard to get. A lot of dungeon masters, when you start off like level 7 or like level 10 in a campaign, dungeon masters are like, yeah, you can pick one rare item to get for your character before we start the campaign, because you're already heroes, blah 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 blah. So you get to look up a rare magic item. This scimitar is a +1 weapon, attack roll and damage for every 10 feet you've moved before making an attack roll within the same turn, of course. So you're making an attack roll and you move 10 feet up to a person, it becomes a +1 up to an enemy. It becomes a +1 weapon on attack roll, a +1 weapon on damage. But this stacks. Also, for every 10 feet you've moved, you do an extra 1d6 slashing damage with this scimitar. This stacks at 3d6, by the way, so 30 feet. There's another thing. So already we have this item that you walk 30 feet up to an enemy, right? And you slash them with your scimitar. You have a +3 on your attack roll, a +3 on your damage, and 3d6 freaking extra damage dice for your scimitar on top of the basic damage your scimitar already does, and your basic damage extra stuff you get, modifier you get from your dexterity, right? So that's already stacking a lot. Now, in addition, if you use the dash action and move within 5 feet of a creature, you can make that creature, you can attack that creature as a bonus action. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 extra slashing damage. Now, I'm gonna sketch you a situation that can actually happen quite often in D&D. Let's say you are a rogue, a human rogue, just to make it easy. You are a human rogue and you are 60 feet away from a freaking enemy. There's this guy over there that you want to kill and he's 60 feet away from you. He doesn't know that you're there, or they are occupied fighting one of your allies, giving you the sneak attack thing, right? You're 60 feet away from them. You use your action to dash over there, not your bonus action because you need that one for the attack, but use your action to dash over to that person. That means you've ran 60 feet within one turn. You go over there 60 feet. You attack them with a +6 to your attack roll. You have a +6 to damage. You have +3d6 because you've walked 60 freaking feet, and +2d6 because you used your dash action. giving you giving you 5d6 plus 6 extra damage on top of the modifier you already have from your dexterity, and the basic damage from your Skinatar, and the gazillion d6s you're about to roll for your sneak attack, giving you like one shitload of d6s you can roll, plus your dexterity, plus freaking 6, just for walking 60 feet towards an enemy. That is absolutely crazy. It is just a rare magic item. The reason why I say that you are a rogue in this situation is because I feel, well, the person who helped me, Blind Jedi, also feels that that the rogue is really good with this, because in my games at least, the rogue is always the one like running around the battlefield. So they are stacking bonuses upon bonuses all the time. They go over there, they get a +2. They go over there, they get a +1. They go over there, they get a +3, and they can keep rolling d6s. And also the reason for using the rogue, giving this weapon to a rogue, is your rogue only has one attack per round, right? Your rogue is like a one target kind of pokey person, so they want to stack as much damage upon this one attack as they possibly can, and the Blade of the Dervish absolutely helps them with that. So if you are a rogue and your dungeon master ever goes, hey, pick a rare magic item to start off with, the Blade of the Dervish from the Vault of Magic is really worth looking at. Page 15. Before we go on, I just want to quickly mention that I offer a ton of discounts on Kobold Press products over on Shard Tabletop. The link is in the description below. I also offer discounts on the subscriptions for Shard Tabletop, so that's a win-win situation right there. So if you want to get into Kobold Press content, if you want to play on a virtual tabletop that I absolutely love, make sure to click the link in the description below. And Shard Tabletop, Kobold Press, thanks for supporting my channel all the way through, and let's get into the video. Now, if you are into the team playing aspect of D&D, there is a magic item for you on page 22. Again, a very small bit of text right here without any artwork, and I like that. I absolutely love that about these magic items, because these are the magic items that people don't necessarily glance at immediately, because people are always like, I often catch myself like flipping through it, looking at the artwork, and then, oh, that's cool artwork, let's read about it. But there are these magic items scattered across this book that don't have artwork, so they're really cool because not a lot of people know about them. The Encouraging Armor, you gain a +1 to armor class, so it's a +1 armor. In addition, each friendly creature within 10 feet of you that you can see gains a +1 bonus to attack rolls and saving throws, which is cool already, right? If you are a paladin with the Aura of Courage feature, this bonus becomes a +2. Now, this isn't game breaking in the same way the first magic item was, but it is really cool for a paladin to use this. If you have a paladin at level, let's say you start at level 6, right? And your dungeon master's like, pick a magic item, and you say, I'm going to use the Encouraging Armor, give me 1 +1 AC. Everybody within 10 feet of you is already going to have this buff from your Aura of Protection, saving throws. Let's say you're level 7, whatever, and you are really min-maxing your charisma. You have 20 charisma at this point, which means that everybody within 10 feet of you is already getting +5 to their saving throws, already making your party extremely resilient against like traps or magical stuff that happens within a dungeon when everybody is cluttered and a circle, everybody's together, and something happens, I don't know, a fireball explodes, everybody has to roll this saving throw. Having a paladin in the middle of the party is really useful, especially if they have high charisma. But because you're wearing this armor, you can make this have a +1, so it becomes a +6. Then when you reach level 10, you have the Aura of Courage feature. This becomes a +2, so it becomes a +7. Now, running through a dungeon, walking through a dungeon with a party, like all cluttered up, right? You're all like walking through the dungeon, everybody's within 10 feet of each other, and just and then this trap happens, this fireball explodes. Having the entire party have +7 on their saving throws, on top of the bonus, even if it's like 0 or 1 or 2, on top of the bonus they already have, is extremely usable, and it gives the party such a level of survivability that you normally not have. So this one, the encouraging armor, is really helpful for those people who want to team play, but also want to keep whatever they're doing kind of in a passive way, because there is a lot of like stuff going on when you're playing a paladin with the smites and the spells and the attacks and whatever, and the channel divinity. So you want something that helps the party in a passive way. The encouraging armor is something you really need to look into. Number 3 is on page 73, and it's called the Eldritch Rod, which has artwork. The first one with artwork for today. It is a uncommon magic item. It is a rod, a big rod, an uncommon magic item, which requires attunement by a spellcaster, so it's also not that hard to get. Long story short, it is a rod that has 3 charges. Which you regain all expanded charges daily at dawn, so you get 3 of them every day. Whenever you cast a spell with an attack roll, not with a save, but with an attack roll, and you deal damage, you blind and restrain, grapple the enemy you just hit, right? So vines come out and they ensnare this person and you grapple them. So they become grappled. Without a save. There's no save for them to not become grappled. There is a save for them at the end of each of their turns to get out of the grapple, but every turn they're in the grapple, they take 1d6 damage of the same type dealt by the spell. Now, the rod can only grapple like one person at one time, but the thing is, every party that I play, like 90% of the parties that I play, there is this Warlock that casts Eldritch Blasts, like every turn, almost every freaking turn. Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast, right? So imagine having this rod in your hands while casting Eldritch Blasts all the time. Every time you hit an enemy, 3 times a day, but every time you hit an enemy, they are going to be grappled by your spell and taking at least 1 turn of extra damage by that spell, which is an extremely cool debuff, because if you're fighting like the big bad guy and 3 times in the combat, when you hit them with Eldritch Blast, they become grappled for 1 turn until the end of their next turn, right? So if you are the first person to act, and then there's a bunch of your friends, and then there's the bad guy, there's a bunch of your friends that are going to be able to hit him while he is grappled. So that's really amazing. They also take the 1d6 extra damage. It is just really cool to fight against like a big bad guy, against flying creatures, and just generally creatures with low dexterity, because the save of getting out of the grapple is a dexterity check. So if you have like this big guy with low dex, use this. This is the absolute greatest magic item for people who like to spam Eldritch Blast during an entire gaming session without shame. Wizards, pay attention, because this one's for you, the Rod of Infernal Realms. This really creepy hand coming out of a stick, pointy little fingers with long black nails, is a really cool spell magic item, because for a wizard, it's really hard to pump up your spell save DC, other than increasing your intelligence, of course. And this one does that. It is basically a very rare item that gives you a +2 bonus to attack rolls, spell attack rolls, and spell save DCs. Now, on top of that, it has a feature called Frightful Eyes. You can use your bonus action to, for 1 minute, that's 10 rounds, have fire in your eyes, as you, people can see hell in your eyes, right? And everybody who enters your space within 10 feet of you, or starts their turn there, has to roll a saving throw or become frightened of you. Now, the cool thing is they have to roll a saving throw, which is already increased by the item itself. So that's really cool right there. And everybody is frightened of you until the end of their next turn. On their next turn, they can re-roll the save. If they succeed, then they are not frightened anymore. But if they don't succeed, they're still frightened. So this is really cool for those wizards that are like halfway in the front line, and a lot of creatures are entering their space every now and then, and you're fighting against multiple creatures, which really gives you the opportunity of frightening frightening a ton of those creatures, making it easier for your party members to actually hit them. So it's really cool to bump up your spell save DC, especially if you use it with this magic item like the Arcane Grimoire from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which is basically a +1 spell book. You can pump it up even more, but the Frightful Eyes feature is really something that you can use in order to protect yourself and also at the same way help your allies help you. And this one is the Band of Iron Thorns, and I really like it for its theme. It's evil, it's wicked, and it's cool. It's a wondrous item, it's rare, and it is basically an arm wristband kind of thing that has metal spikes, but the metal spikes are not this way, the metal spikes are that way, and they stick into your arm and reach your blood. And from that moment on, if you roll a saving throw, and before the GM says you made the saving throw or you failed the saving throw, you can expand one hit die and add that number to your saving throw. You can do that as much as you want as long as you have hit die. So it's really cool for a fighter or for a barbarian who are doing all the the tanking, and they have these saving throws they're not really good at, like dexterity saving throw, whatever. It's really cool to have like a thing, like an extra set of dice they can roll in case of when they think something is failing. And the cool thing about it is if you have, like, for example, the fighter has the indomitable feature where they can re-roll a saving throw once they fail one. So this gives that. I had this happen to my fighters a lot of times, and I think it's really frustrating where you are a fighter, right? And you're standing there, you're doing your thing, and then you roll a saving throw and you fail it. But you're like, oh, I got the indomitable feat, and you feel really, really good about it, and you roll again and you fail again. I mean, that's really shitty, and your feature becomes not a feature anymore. It's a non-feature. Now, with this thing, with this Band of Iron Thorns, you have an extra failsafe. Because the first roll, the Dungeon Master is going to say that fails, right? The second roll, with the Indomitable, you already have the information. Like, for example, you roll a dexterity saving throw against, I don't know, a trap, right? And you roll a 14, and you look up at your DM, and your DM is like, nah, that's not enough. You roll again with the Indomitable feat, right? And you roll a 15. This is a really good moment for you to know, okay, a 14 didn't succeed, so I need more than a 14, but I rolled a 15, so I'm gonna not take my chances, and I'm gonna roll a hit die, and then chances are really, really good you will make the save. You will give up some of your blood in order to make the save. I really, really like this magic item for a fighter or for a barbarian or for those people that are on the front line and are getting their asses kicked, and they just need one more thing in order to help them out, even though they have to give their own blood in order to do it. And those were 5 magic items from Vault of Magic that I really like for certain classes or certain situations. Now, a lot of people have a lot to say about Vault of Magic by Kobold Press, and a lot of people say that a lot of these magic items are really overpowered and they break the game, but that is kind of the point of magic items, right? Magic items are supposed to, like, break the game a little bit. After all, it's Dungeons and Dragons. You make up your own rules, you make up your own situations, and you adjust to the strength of your party as a game master or dungeon master or whatever. So magic items make your players feel stronger, but they will have greater monsters and greater traps and everything to fight, so it all becomes even cooler and even better and harder, better, faster and stronger. If you like these kinds of lists, make sure to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and comment below what kind of lists you would like to see on my channel. And until next video, bye bye.